Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there? Or maybe you've struggled to recall a familiar name that was just on the tip of your tongue. If that's happened to you recently, I want you to know, you're not alone. As we get older, little slips like that can feel frustrating, even a bit scary. But the good news is, there are simple, natural ways to keep your mind sharp, focused, and full of energy, starting with what you eat. Now, I'm not talking about going on some fancy, restrictive diet or overhauling your entire kitchen. I'm talking about adding a few powerful, brain-boosting foods into your day, foods that research shows can actually help improve memory, mental clarity, and even your mood, especially after age 55. These are the kinds of foods that can help you feel more alert during the day, have better conversations with the people you love, and stay independent longer. So today, let's talk about what I like to call the brain booster diet. In this video, we're going to dive into 7 everyday foods that help fuel your brain and support sharper thinking. You'll be surprised by how simple some of these are, and how easy it is to start feeling the benefits, even in just a few days. Let's begin with a food that's been around for centuries but has gained a reputation in the last couple of decades for doing wonders for the brain: blueberries. They may be small, but don't let that fool you. Blueberries are often called brain berries for good reason. They're loaded with antioxidants, especially something called flavonoids, which help protect the brain from aging. Think of them as little bodyguards for your brain cells, fighting off inflammation and oxidative stress, 2 things that can really mess with memory and cognitive function over time. What's really interesting is how fast they can work. Some studies have shown that older adults who eat blueberries regularly, even just a handful a day, can see improvements in memory and attention in as little as 12 weeks. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing your mind feels a little sharper, a little quicker. That's the kind of shift we're talking about here. Try tossing some frozen blueberries into your oatmeal, blending them into a smoothie, or just eating them by the handful. It's a sweet, simple step toward a stronger brain. Now, let's talk about another food that doesn't usually get a lot of attention when it comes to brain health, but maybe it should: leafy greens. I know, some of us have a complicated relationship with vegetables. But hear me out, because this one's worth it. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and even good old romaine lettuce are packed with vitamins that your brain absolutely loves. We're talking vitamin K, lutein, folate, and beta-carotene. These nutrients are like rocket fuel for your brain, helping keep the neurons firing and the connection strong. One long-term study even found that people who ate 1 to 2 servings of leafy greens a day had the cognitive abilities of someone 11 years younger. That's a big deal. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to be a big, complicated salad every time. Add a handful of spinach into your scrambled eggs. Throw some kale into a soup or a stir-fry. Even a sandwich with romaine lettuce can make a difference. It's about finding simple ways to work these brain-friendly foods into the meals you already enjoy. Next up is a favorite of many, and if it's not one of yours yet, it might be after this: walnuts. Now, I'm not just recommending walnuts because they kind of look like little brains. Although it is a fun coincidence, isn't it? The real reason walnuts are on this list is because they're one of the best sources of plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, especially something called alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA. Omega-3s are essential for brain health. They help protect the structure of brain cells, support communication between neurons, and can even help reduce brain fog. Walnuts also contain antioxidants and vitamin E, both of which have been linked to a lower risk of Alzheimer's disease. Just a small handful, maybe 5 or 6 whole walnuts, is enough to give you a solid brain-boosting dose. Keep a jar on your kitchen counter or beside your favorite chair. They make a great snack, especially if you find yourself craving something crunchy between meals. These foods, blueberries, leafy greens, and walnuts, might seem simple, and in many ways, they are. But when you start making them part of your daily routine, the impact can be powerful. You may notice that it's easier to remember names, that conversations flow more naturally, or that you're simply more confident in your thoughts. And really, that's what this is all about, not just preserving memory, but enhancing your quality of life. Let's keep going. There's another food that's been getting a lot of attention lately, and it deserves a spot in your kitchen, especially if you want to keep your brain sharp and your spirits high. It's none other than fatty fish. Salmon, sardines, mackerel, these fish are packed with DHA, a type of omega-3 that makes up a big part of your brain's structure. Think of DHA as the insulation around your brain's wiring. It helps messages move faster and more efficiently. If you're not getting enough, your brain can feel sluggish. You might notice more senior moments, more frustration when you can't find the right word, or even changes in your mood. Fatty fish also help reduce inflammation, which plays a big role in age-related cognitive decline. Eating fish just once or twice a week has been linked to a slower rate of memory loss and better brain function overall. If you're not a fan of fish, don't worry, there are other ways to get omega-3s, like flax seeds, chia seeds, and supplements. But if you enjoy seafood, even better. Bake it, grill it, toss it on a salad. It's delicious, and your brain will thank you. So far, we've talked about some incredible foods: blueberries, leafy greens, walnuts, and fatty fish. And you might be thinking, okay, this sounds great, but will I actually remember to eat these every day? That's a fair question. The key is to keep it simple. You don't need to overhaul everything overnight. Start by picking just one of these foods and adding it into your next meal. The rest will come naturally with time. Now, there's another everyday item you might already have in your pantry that's doing your brain a huge favor, and it might surprise you. It's truly amazing how something as simple as an egg can do so much. And speaking of simplicity, let's talk about a food you might already enjoy but never realized how powerful it is for your brain: blueberries. Now, I know what you might be thinking: blueberries? Really? Yes, really. These little blue gems are what many call nature's brain candy. And unlike the sugar-packed sweets we try to avoid, blueberries are loaded with antioxidants that specifically target brain health. They're like tiny cleaning crews that sweep away the inflammation and stress that builds up in our minds over time. As we age, one of the biggest threats to our memory and mental sharpness is oxidative stress. It's like rust forming on the gears of our brain. But blueberries are packed with anthocyanins, a type of antioxidant that helps protect the brain from this damage. Some studies have even found that regular consumption of blueberries can improve memory in older adults. Isn't that wonderful? And you don't need to eat a whole bowl every day. Just a handful, maybe tossed into your morning oatmeal, blended into a smoothie, or even as a frozen snack in the afternoon, can give your brain a refreshing lift. I like to think of them as little memory boosters you can pop like candy, without the guilt. Now, from berries to something even creamier, let's talk about avocados. If you've ever spread avocado on toast or sliced it into a salad, you've already done your brain a favor. You see, avocados are rich in healthy monounsaturated fats, and these are exactly the kind of fats your brain loves. They're like premium oil for a car engine, keeping everything running smoothly and efficiently. But avocados don't stop there. They also help lower blood pressure, and that's important because high blood pressure is linked to cognitive decline. Think of it this way: good blood flow equals a well-nourished brain. So when you enjoy half an avocado at lunch or mash some into your sandwich instead of mayonnaise, you're not just feeding your body, you're fueling your clarity, focus, and alertness. And if you're worried about calories, remember this: it's not about eating less, it's about eating smart. A little avocado goes a long way. Besides, the creamy texture is satisfying in a way that chips and cookies just can't match. Alright, let's move on to a food that doesn't usually get the spotlight, but it really deserves it: pumpkin seeds. Small, unassuming, and often pushed aside with the fall decorations, these seeds are surprisingly powerful when it comes to brain health. Pumpkin seeds are rich in magnesium, iron, zinc, and copper, four minerals that your brain absolutely needs to function at its best. Magnesium helps with learning and memory, while zinc is critical for nerve signaling. Copper keeps communication between brain cells sharp, and iron supports strong mental energy. If you've ever found yourself feeling foggy or drained during the day, low iron or magnesium could be part of the reason. A small handful of roasted pumpkin seeds can help keep that mental cloudiness at bay. I like to sprinkle them on top of yogurt or blend them into my morning smoothie for a little crunch. They're also great as an on-the-go snack. No prep needed, no fuss, just brain-friendly goodness in every bite. And here's a little bonus: pumpkin seeds are also good for your mood. They contain tryptophan, an amino acid that helps your body produce serotonin, your natural feel-good chemical. So next time you feel a little low or anxious, instead of reaching for something sugary, try a few pumpkin seeds. Your brain, and your spirit, will thank you. Now, it wouldn't be a true brain-boosting journey without talking about leafy greens. Yes, I know, greens again. But hear me out. Spinach, kale, arugula, and collard greens are like the silent guardians of mental clarity. They're not flashy. They don't come in fun shapes or sweet flavors. But they deliver something far more valuable: consistency. These greens are packed with vitamin K, lutein, folate, and beta-carotene, all nutrients linked to slower cognitive decline. Scientists believe these greens help protect brain cells and improve communication between them, like keeping your brain's phone lines open and crystal clear. What's more, you don't have to eat a giant salad every day to benefit. Even just including a small serving of greens in your lunch or dinner, sautéed, blended into soups, or added to an omelette, can make a noticeable difference over time. Here's a little trick I like: when making scrambled eggs in the morning, toss in a handful of chopped spinach right before they're done. You won't even notice the texture change, but your brain will definitely feel the benefits. And that simple spinach trick is just one more way to sneak in brain-nourishing foods without turning your routine upside down. Sometimes, it's the little shifts that have the biggest impact. Now, there's one more delicious addition we can't skip, and it might already be in your kitchen: dark chocolate. Yes, you heard that right, chocolate. But not just any chocolate. We're talking about the rich, slightly bitter kind with at least 70% cocoa. This isn't the sugary milk chocolate we give the grandkids on holidays. It's a little more grown-up and a whole lot better for your brain. Dark chocolate is full of flavonoids, which are natural compounds that improve blood flow to the brain. Better circulation means more oxygen and nutrients get delivered to where they're needed most, like the parts of your brain that handle memory, focus, and mood. It also stimulates the release of endorphins, those wonderful, feel-good chemicals that help lift our spirits, especially on days when everything feels just a little bit heavier. A small square or two of dark chocolate in the afternoon can give you a gentle mental lift without the crash you get from caffeine or sugar. It's like giving your brain a little hug. Pair it with a handful of nuts or those pumpkin seeds we talked about earlier, and you've got yourself a mini brain-boosting snack that's satisfying, nourishing, and comforting all at once. But remember, moderation is key. Just 1 or 2 pieces is enough. Think of it as a treat for both your taste buds and your mind. And finally, let's wrap things up with something ancient, golden, and incredibly powerful: turmeric. Now, if you're not familiar with it, turmeric is that bright yellow spice that gives curry its signature color. But behind that golden hue is a compound called curcumin, and it's curcumin that's been studied for its powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Chronic inflammation is one of the sneaky culprits behind cognitive decline. It's like a slow, invisible fog that builds up in the background, affecting memory, mood, and overall brain function. But curcumin helps push that fog away, and gives our minds a clearer, brighter space to operate in. You can add turmeric to soups, stews, roasted vegetables, or even blend a little into a warm drink with milk, what many call golden milk. Just be sure to include a pinch of black pepper with it. Why? Because black pepper contains piperine, which helps your body absorb curcumin more effectively, by as much as 2000%. A little sprinkle of pepper makes a big difference. Now, you might not notice the effects overnight, and that's okay. The power of turmeric, like many of these foods, lies in consistency. Think of it as a long-term investment in your mental clarity, your ability to recall names, find the right words, stay engaged in conversations, and most importantly, to feel like yourself, sharp, alert, and alive. So, what does all of this mean for you? It means that staying mentally strong and clear-headed after 55 doesn't have to be complicated. It's not about drastic diets or expensive supplements. It's about making small, smart, delicious choices every day. An egg in the morning, a handful of blueberries in the afternoon. A slice of avocado on toast. A sprinkle of pumpkin seeds. A bit of dark chocolate when you want a treat. Some sautéed greens with dinner. And maybe, a soothing golden milk before bed. You don't have to overhaul your life. Just let these foods gently become part of your rhythm. Let them support you, the same way you've supported your family, your friends, your community, all these years. You've earned the right to feel your best. You deserve to wake up feeling clear and focused, to walk into a room and remember why you're there, to laugh at a joke and remember the punchline, to tell stories with vivid detail and connect with the people around you, fully present, fully yourself. And the best part? It's never too late to start. Your brain is still growing, still adapting, still capable of wonderful things. With every healthy bite, you're telling your brain, I'm here. I'm showing up for you. Let's keep going. So now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one brain-boosting food you already enjoy, or one you're excited to try after watching this video? Share your thoughts in the comments below. You never know, your story might inspire someone else to take their first step, too. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. We've got more uplifting, practical, and empowering videos coming your way, all focused on helping you live with strength, confidence, and joy. Until next time, take care of yourself, body, mind, and spirit. Because the best chapters of your life? They're still being written. Here's to living your brightest, sharpest, most vibrant life, at any age.